Hi, this is Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer here at our network at USA Global TV and Radio. Thank you so much for your loyalty. Thank you so much to all of our guests, to our team members, to our sponsors, and to all of our elevated listeners. Here at USA Global TV and Radio, we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. We celebrate all of our team members, all of our guests, and all of our sponsors from around the world who come and lead their lives with their hearts to help other people walk into their greatness. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and book your session. Please contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com and subscribe to our channel. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is the United Kingdom News and Culture. And we hope that you'll literally get on the bus with us as we find out what's going on in the United Kingdom. Joining me for episode 53, DIANN FLOYD BOEHM from the great state of Texas. Welcome, DIANN.
Hi, Dr. Jacalyn. How are you this morning?
I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
Very well. It's a little frigid. I'm in Virginia at the moment.
Oh, that's right. You're in Virginia. I forgot that. Yeah. Yes. How are things going there?
Chilly willy.
Well, I wish I could say that I understand, but it's about 75 degrees Fahrenheit here. So
rub it in.
I imagine I'd be enjoying it if I was outside, but I'm inside behind the green screen, DIANN. So
right.
don't
feel
and
what a good show we have today. I am on the bus and ready to go.
We've got our expert correspondents backstage. Simon MacDonald has the day off, so we'll look forward to seeing him again. Let's welcome the Queen of News, Helena Chard. Hello.
Woo! Thank you for such a lovely intro. Lovely to see you, girl.
Lovely to see you as well.
And do you know, I'm interested, DIANN, how you say it's really, really, really cold. How warm is it? I mean, how cold is it? What's the temperature?
How cold is it? It got down to 39.
Whoa.
Fahrenheit.
It sounds delightful.
It's also relative, isn't it?
Helena, when we saw you last week, I think you were like a frozen sickle. You had been out walking in freezing weather.
Oh, it was wonderful though. It's absolutely the thing to do. It's amazing. I've been on my walk today as well, not quite as far, but again, it's equally as cold. And it's just exhilarating. Anyone that thinks, oh my gosh, I'm too cold, just get out there. It's amazing. So feel good.
I would try to remember that.
Yes. And speaking of someone who is getting out there, it's Mr. Ian Pelham Turner. Let's welcome him. Hello.
He's slowly
Hello, Ian.
There he is.
Good afternoon. Sorry, it's one of these afternoons, isn't it?
Here we are.
We're also jolly today.
Yeah. What can I say? Describe it all. I think it's cold, cold, cold in London.
I'm sorry, but y'all have the cold and you get the snow and everything, but your springs are so beautiful, and you wouldn't have it if you didn't have that weather. Does that make you feel better?
It's true. And actually now all the flowers are beginning to come out. Even though it's icy, they're beginning to pop out. Yeah, lovely.
Oh, you're going to have to pop some pictures to me.
Yeah, I will do.
So it's so much fun to do this show. I know sometimes we get a little off track talking about food. So if anybody has anything about food that you want to get out of your system right now.
Well,
it's soup weather.
Hey. Do you know, actually, this is a good one to start on because food actually comes into something for today. So it's a special day known, and in fact, in a way, it's a shame that Simon's not here because nothing can stop the Scots celebrating Burns Night, which is a really, really special day. There's also Burns Day and Night, and special celebration of the life and poetry of the famous Scottish poet Robert Burns. And I don't know, he's known for so Oh Danny Boy, Ode Lang Syne, something Rose Rose. Anyway, I don't know all of them, but he's really well known. And so many people are celebrating huge parties tonight. And haggis, talking of food, this is the reason for it. Haggis is the main food. Obviously, Scots are known for, but that lots of people will be eating haggis this evening. And do you know anything about haggis, guys?
No.
I do not.
Is it known? Do you not? Is it what?
What is it?
There's a whole ceremony over. So when a haggis is actually made, it's I won't go to the actual content of it because it's a bit move myself more central. It's a bit sort of controversial, the consistency, but basically it's piped into the room by a Scottish piper, bagpiper. And then the master of ceremonies has to do what is called the address of the haggis as well. And so basically, then once the haggis is served, it's served with haggis, neeps, and tatties. So haggis is really, it's like a very sort of fat sausage consistency. Neeps are really turnips. And tatties are obviously potatoes. So that is the actual food. And then a whole series of Rabbie Burns poems are read out. And my mother taught me 2 lines of a Scottish poem once, and it's "We sneaked Corin Temerus Beastie, how thy panics in thy breastie." So this goes on. And they have a very interesting night, and obviously it's washed down with something that I know Simon hates, which is malt whiskey. So I think I probably realise he may be that he's already started celebrating early with this whole Hogmanay celebration, but it's in the annals of Scottish history.
So it's basically a sausage-like consistency with potatoes.
It's really it's a mixture really of things like offal and I won't describe because it's a bit. When you describe it, it's a bit garish, to actually describe. But it is a very, very tasty dish. And as I say, Scots love sort of traditions like this, and Rabbie Burns, it is seen. In fact, you'll find that it's happening all over the world, and no doubt in Florida, where there is a lot of Scots out there anyway, you'll probably find that Rabbie Burns is being celebrated in Florida as well, and in Texas, because I think there's a large percentage of Scots in Texas. So the Scots are all over the place.
The Scots are coming. The Scots are coming.
North Carolina is huge for the Scottish heritage.
Just to say as well that the haggis is obviously known in the form of a sausage and everything, but you can. In fact, there are people today who are making sort of like, I suppose, a more economy version, mixing sort of potatoes, turnips, mincemeat, lots of pepper. It's very peppery. And you can actually mix it all together and sort of do it as a bake. So you can do a simple version of it. But obviously the haggis is known for its like in its big sausage form. But it used to be a little bit more gory, Ian, but I think now they have the modern version is the sausage is made not in the skin of whatever. But anyway, I'll move on from that. But there is an interesting story, which is there is a haggis that's gone on a journey 10,000 miles, and the special thing about it is it's gone on this journey on board the RSS, which is a vessel, the Sir David Attenborough. and it travelled all the way to the Antarctica, to the research centre there. And there's something like 150 people stationed. A lot of them are Scottish, and obviously missing their family. They're doing research out there, and they've already had their big party, I think. But this sausage travelled the whole mile, the whole world almost, to get there. This haggis, and it's been enjoyed. But I think the fun thing about it is just thinking, goodness me, I can hear lots of coughing and things in the background. Sorry.
That's me. Sorry.
I hope you're okay. But the thing about it in the Antarctic as well is this minute, it's just something that's just been released, that there's a big ice mountain that's just escaped off a shelf, and it's the size of Great Britain, and it's literally just cracked off and is now floating away, which is incredible if you think about the size of that. I do think that the good news is I don't think it's necessarily global warming that's caused that, but I guess our friends who've just enjoyed their huge haggis that travelled 10,000 miles are all part and parcel of the research that's gone into that. So really interesting. But there's such fun and games and dancing and poetry and just a lot of fun. And in fact, I was watching something earlier, and I think they're celebrating it in the States as well, because I saw Catherine Zeta-Jones and her husband, and there was something going on. But I don't personally celebrate it, but I want to get involved. Anyway, we're having a celebration today. Hey.
Absolutely. Helena, when you said Sir David, I was thinking about him in that very moment. Is that amazing?
Wow. Yeah, great minds think alike. I believe it.
Somebody posted a picture that apparently he had taken of a bird, I think a heron, that was flying with an eel coming out of its stomach while it was up in the air, had eaten an eel and it was coming out. So I decided to go and follow him on Facebook, and I looked at some of the photography that's shared there. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't see that every day.
No, you don't.
Amazing. Oh, we love Sir David Attenborough. So excited. But we said we weren't going to talk about food, and here we are.
Here we are, still
talking about, well, it's haggis, I suppose it is. It's the day, isn't it? It's the day to talk about it. So lots has been happening. I would love to say one thing, actually. We have a lovely actor here in the UK called Bill Nighy, and he's so well known for so many films. But congratulations to Bill Nighy, because he has been nominated for his first Oscar. He's 73 years old, and I'm so happy for him. The most lovely guy, and he starred in, it's something, I think 2022, something recently, called Living, and it's a fabulous film. If anyone wants to see it, I really recommend it, because it also gives you a little insight into the UK, and you see I don't know, afternoon tea at Fortnum and Mason. But so beautiful the way this film was put together. And just to give a little rundown of the film, it's to do with a guy who all he wanted to be in his life was a gentleman, and he used to go to work every day. And at the age, for years and years and years, life passed him by. He wasn't unhappy, but he wasn't happy, and he didn't find joy. He never ever experienced joy each day, and it was only when he was diagnosed with an illness and didn't have long to live that he suddenly decided to go out and have fun. And it's absolutely beautiful. He's an amazing actor, and huge congrats, Bill Nighy. It's been a long time coming, but hey, what a good film to get it on.
Congratulations.
Yay, congratulations.
I heard that film is up for several awards. So
I hope so. I just
But that is so special. 73. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
It just shows you keep on living, right?
Absolutely. And he's just something so special about him. He's so self-depreciating, but so brilliant. I love that.
Wonderful.
I have a little segue. I have to reach over here when you're talking about joy. I just want to promote Anne Scotland and her book, Live for Joy. Some absolutely beautiful pictures in here and wonderful quotes. And Anne will be doing her show right after this with Dr. Roger Leslie. It's called I'm Spiritual But. Okay.
I have
That's
that
lovely.
book, and you guys would love it. The pictures and inspiration for every day, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'd love to just
I've
have
just
you
bought some joy. Sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I've just bought some joy tea. There's actually a thing called joy tea now in Britain, so I've just bought some of it. Hopefully to bring joy and happiness and everything else, every single day. But it's amazing. I think with all the things that are going on at the moment, and so it's wonderful to think of. So I've actually got 2 years to catch up with Bill Nye, or actually 1 and a bit when I think about it, because I'll be 70. So I've got a year to catch up with him. Perhaps then I can get an Oscar as well. So all is worth going for.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you drink too much of that tea, you might find out you'll start singing "You've Got the Joy, Joy Down in Your Heart." Y'all do recall that children's song, right?
No.
I'm not sure. You sing it to
I've
us.
got
I'm
the
sure we'll
joy,
remember.
joy, joy, joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Now does that ring a bell? I've got the
Yeah, it
joy,
does.
joy, joy. Okay, see?
Yeah.
I guess I never heard children's songs when I was growing up.
I think we've got some of my tea.
I think so too. Anyway, so what else is going in the beautiful world of y'all's?
Oh goodness, we've got so much. Where do we go? We've had some fun. There's the most recent thing that's come. Is the Meghan and Harry scenario carries on, and at the moment we have this thing that's come in. And did the palace discredit Harry and Meghan and the docu-series? And it's Liz Garbez, who's the director of the Netflix of the docu-series, has come in saying that. How absurd. And it's, I think, something to do with the fact that the palace hasn't commented on various things. I know there was problems with receiving things, but it's like, hey, how many things can we sort of listen to? How many little bits and pieces? It's like, the sovereignty, 1,000 years of sovereignty, and all of a sudden they're being questioned as to why they've not commented. All these micro accusations, I find it bizarre. But anyway, so that's something that's that's been discussed today. I was having a chat to somebody about that. Just thinking on a positive note with lots going on. So Fergie, absolutely love Fergie. That's her nickname, and now I can't even think of her name properly. It's ridiculous. But congratulate Sarah Ferguson. That's it, Sarah Ferguson. Congratulations to Sarah Ferguson, Prince Andrew, whole family. Eugenie is pregnant again, but also I'm just thrilled that Fergie is back in the royal fold again. The lovely thing is that she's so gung-ho and so funny and a really warm, caring person. And I know since Christmas spent Christmas with the royals, and is now on very good terms with Camilla Parker Bowles, future queen to be on May the 6th, and things are going really well. It's really heartwarming because apparently she didn't get on with the Duke of Edinburgh, and I understand it was, I don't know if you remember the story, the toe sucking story that came out, which wasn't. I found it quite funny. I'm sure lots of people found it funny, but she wasn't with Prince Andrew at the time, and the story came out, and the Duke of Edinburgh, who has now passed, wasn't too happy, but so happy that she's now part of the fold. And I think as well, obviously seeing her recently when she was doing the memorial service for, sadly, Lisa Marie Presley passing, I had no idea that they were all very good friends. And she used one of the sayings that our late Queen used to talk about, which is, grief is the price we pay for love. And so it was lovely hearing her say that. But she had spoke so beautifully about Lisa Marie's children. So looking forward to seeing more and more of her. And of course, we've got the coronation coming up, and hugely excited. I personally am. So that's May the 6th. And I think one of the things that's really special is everyone has been talking about, you know, Queen Consort Camilla, queen or not queen, but she will be crowned with King Charles III at May the 6th at Westminster. And Westminster Cathedral, I'm so pleased. And people are sort of questioning this, but it is really absolutely what's happened previously. There is certain laws that allow partners to be crowned as well, and apparently if it's the king that's being crowned, then the queen can also be crowned at the same time. So that was the case in 1937 for King George VI, who was also crowned with Queen Elizabeth. That's the Queen's mother. Our late Queen wasn't. Her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, wasn't crowned because it wasn't party. It's not law. But it's just a strange one, isn't it? But anyway, so excited about the pageantry. It's going to be great fun. And anyone, even if you're not a royalist, you've got 3 days off. We've got like an extra day. There's going to be a concert at Windsor Castle and a big, huge light show. But one of the exciting things for me, I mean, not exciting, but it's heartfelt and so needed. On May the 8th, it's called the Big Help Out. And it's something that everyone's been asked to do, and it involves volunteering. So everybody that's watching, everyone in the UK, will be doing something good, volunteering, even if it's something small. And I just think, what a lovely thing to work with. I mean, it's what we're all about. So to think that now it's been put out there and King Charles has put that there, I feel really excited about it. And I could go on talking about other things, but I'm going to stop and we can all chat.
I love that volunteering. What day is that again?
So it's May the 6th is the actual coronation, then
Right.
It's the 6th, 7th and 8th. So it's the 8th, May the 8th. Okay. That's the date that happens, which is here. It's going to be a bank holiday. So it's a special day that everyone's got off, which everyone's always very excited about. Yay, it's a bank holiday. So
that was the day I got married.
Oh, is that yay? It was good at the time.
For a little while anyway.
It was a great wedding, that's for sure.
Oh. No doubt.
Bad.
So but, Ian, you look like you're about to say something. I know there's a little bit of a delay.
He has his thinking cap on.
No. It's going to be a wonderful time again. I hope there's talk about an invitation that Harry and Meghan have been invited for the event as well, and they're deciding on whether they're going to come or not. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to Prince Andrew, because at the moment there appears to be some debate over whether or not he may appeal against anything that's happened to him. And with Sarah Ferguson back in the fold again now as well, obviously Andrew is the wife, well, the husband, I should say, of Sarah Ferguson at the same time. So, and it's a strange situation because, as we understand it, although they were divorced many, many years ago, I think from what we hear for the past many, many years, they've lived together still in Windsor, a large proportion of the time, and they're totally devoted to one another. So it seems, and there was even talk at one time, and I think Helena may have heard more about this than me, that perhaps they were even going to get remarried again as well. There was a lot of gossip about them remarrying because they were so close at the same time.
Interesting.
There was. I think with I think they're just amazingly good friends, and I think sometimes people always put so much onus, don't they, on marriage and this one-on-one relationship, but they're just really good friends. So they hang out, they get on well, better, you know, not married than married. And I think, you know, good for them.
And good for their family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And some unusual stories came out of when Andrew was you know, going through the mill really of all these things. There's some sort of interesting angles that anybody that could find anything on Andrew. And two things was that he has, and again Helena will probably know the true figure, but he has something like about, is it 50 or 60 teddy bears on his bed. And they have to be put in a special order every day, so that when he retires, he sees these teddy bears on the bed, and presumably he removes them. But the other thing that was interesting was that he's got his own gourmet chef, who's part and parcel of the Royal Concierge. But his favourite meal is hamburgers and chips, and so you know, this, I don't think this gourmet chef has ever done so much other than become like a glorified McDonald's.
Did you see the article that came out recently? That's without naming names, but there's a certain picture that surfaced that Andrew was in, and that apparently that really isn't him. Did you see this article?
Well, I don't know as well. I mean, I think she's probably been talking about it more, but it's supposed to be fake, or that's what they're saying. But Helena knows better the story.
Well, firstly, I think the thing about Prince Andrew is somebody once entered his room and he had something like 72 teddy bears on the bed. But I think the whole story around it, I don't quite know, because it could have been for some special something that we don't know. But yes, 72 teddy bears. Goodness me, who has 72 teddy bears? Prince Andrew and the photograph. So I mean, we've been talking about it for days now, but, you know, I think it's to do with the fact that Prince Andrew is looking into overturning the settlement that he gave to Virginia Dupre. Now, I find it bizarre, because obviously a settlement is a settlement. And I think what's happened, Virginia Dupre has had to apologise to somebody else that she also had a case with, because she made some errors in her judgments. So whether this has given Andrew that, you know, go ahead to proceed. But I know lots of people, especially barristers and the legal system in America, have said, just don't do it, just leave it now. But we've had some strange things. I mean, we've got that what's very strange, Ghislaine Maxwell, isn't it? I always get her name wrong, but she's been speaking up. We've had her on the TV from her jail in Florida. I mean, why on earth they've been talking to her? But the reason being, it's to do with a certain photograph, that the photograph has been mocked. It's not a true photograph. And Ghislaine actually said she didn't think it was true. It is slightly weird when you look at it, I have to say. And it's not just her. There's Lady Victoria Harvey, who I think Harvey is somebody who Andrew used to see, and she's been on TV as well talking about it. So there's this lot of big onus on just this one photograph. And I understand, obviously, it's a big thing, but there is a lot more to this case than just that photograph. But I have to say, if it is a lie and it has been photoshopped, then that needs to be looked at. So it's another story that we're looking at. It's come at a time where you'd think, goodness me, you know, Prince Andrew, I think, probably wants to be part of the coronation. Does he see he has a role to play at the coronation? So it sort of left us all wondering what's going on. But, you know, I knowing what's happened to him, I mean, if it was me in that situation, which never would be, you'd want to fight, I'm pretty sure.
I agree.
There's I mean, he could become part of a new project, because just going back to the teddy bears a minute. I used to collect teddy bears. And it's something about men and teddy bears, I think, first of all, because when I used to travel the world, I'd like to have a memento of where I traveled to. And you probably know, if you're buzzing in and out of airports all the time, you seem to go for something that might be representing that country. So I used to collect teddy bears from all over the world. But there's a poignant story to this, is that this week in London is the British Toy Fair. Whereas a lot of other businesses seem to be sort of going down at the moment, soft toys, things like teddy bears, have been selling much better than before. It is reckoned now by the soft toy industry that people are buying teddy bears just to represent and reminisce on their past and make themselves feel better. So Prince Andrew could become the new sort of president of the Teddy Bear Association.
I love it.
Teddy Andrew. I love it.
Oh.
Diane, did you collect teddy bears when you were growing up? Or is it a
Yeah, I'm a doll girl, but I have to admit that every day when we make our bed, I have a teddy bear that my husband bought me in South Dakota, and a dog that my son that barks that he had made for me at one of those little make a bear things, but it was a dog, and then I have another teddy bear that came from England. So I only have 3 on the bed, and my kids just go like this. But if you walk into every one of the other bedrooms, there'll be a doll sitting on the bed.
Wow, we have to take a tour of your house, Diane. I love it. What about you, Helena?
I have to say, I love cuddly toys. I have to say, I think they're lovely. I do, but I don't have any on my bed. I used to collect them, and I still have them. In fact, I've been going through things, and I found a few which are really sweet. And I know that I passed them on to my mum. And it's all part of your life, isn't it? It's a special time. So I could associate it with that. But who else has got dolls? Dr. Jacalyn?
I don't have any dolls. No dolls, but when I was growing up, we used to travel quite frequently from Pennsylvania to Florida. So it'd be my mom, my dad, my sister, myself, and occasionally there'd be a girlfriend. And I had a teddy bear. It was turquoise and white, and his name was Teddy, surprisingly enough. And when we would cross, if we were coming down south and we would cross into a new state, I'd hold Teddy up and I'd say, Teddy's flipping out because we're going to a new state. Every time.
That's too cute.
I don't know what happened to poor Teddy, but he retired, so.
He had to rest from all the flipping.
He did. But the one thing about those cuddly animals is that if you don't want to have a real dog that you actually have to take care of, you can have your little cuddly one there with you.
That's right. And you can press their little paw and they'll go, "Arr, arr, arr." Didn't I do that well?
You did. Bravo. Do you know here in the UK, there's a new story that's come out, and so man's best friend is now a pig.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And so would you cuddle up to a pig?
No
I'll throw that back to you.
I could answer that, but I won't, because I think I have, but that's another story.
I never understood people getting pigs for pets.
But they're very intelligent from what I understand.
They are, but if you had an uncle who had a farm with giant hogs, the last thing you want around you is a pig.
It's a pig. Are they hard to take care of? Are they self-sufficient?
They're pretty self-sufficient. They just eat and waddle in the mud and eat the rest of the junk thrown over the pile. At least at his house, anyway.
I heard they're quite clean. As in the people is. I look at Diane's face.
Diane's
Your
like,
horror.
what?
I heard they're not, because they're not as dirty as you imagine. But I think what's cute is the pigs are lovely. You know, the little baby ones.
Yes,
But you know,
they are
but it
cute
must-
when
it
they're
must-
little.
must be a horror if you think you've got a micro pig and then all of a sudden it grows to like this big.
Why do I?
Ah,
Oh my
funny.
gosh. I just had a
Yeah.
funny
Yeah.
comment come up to share.
I think maybe fluffy little dogs and cats. Yeah.
I always wanted
anyway.
to get one of those little teacup dogs. You know, they're like 4
Oh,
pounds. I actually
they're so
looked into
cute.
it. Have you seen them?
Little teacups. So
Yeah.
dogs, there's several
Oh,
types.
no, I've not.
Yeah.
I think the biggest
What,
they will grow.
literally in your hand?
Yes, it doesn't get any bigger than that. And you get like a little, what's it called for children? A playpen. And you put it in there because somebody could step on it or sit on it or something horrible. So,
Wow. I wonder what breed that is. Yeah.
There's
Look that
several.
up.
There's the teacup little terrier. There's the teacup. I'm trying to think.
Maltese,
the-
isn't there?
Yes, a teacup Maltese.
That's
There's
what I wanted to get.
They're so cute. They're like a ball of white fur.
So
They're so cute.
I showed you
So
before.
nice.
These were my dogs that I had. None of them were teacups, but
Ah,
they
Yeah.
were a Catan de
Maltese.
Toulouse and a Maltese. And the Maltese
Beautiful.
name was Eiffel, like the tower. She's all the way on this side. And Ritzy after the Ritz Hotel. And Star was named by the breeder. So, but they all passed away a few years ago. Bye.
Mm. Oh,
Would you
a
love
teacup
another one?
chihuahua. That's the other one. The teacup chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
Yeah. And they might be a teacup chihuahua tiny, but boy, can they bark. you,
yappy.
Do you want to hear another bear story? Teddy bear
Yes,
story?
Sure.
Go
Yes.
for it.
This happened many years ago. The original teddy bear, which was named after Teddy Roosevelt, was auctioned in London by Sotheby's. And this bear, I think they're called Stein bears, if I remember rightly, but it's a name like that. They're a very valued teddy bear. And so I was sent down to photograph this very famous teddy bear. And we thought it'd be a great idea to get a young girl, 6 or 7 years old, to come and sit outside and cuddle this teddy bear. So that was the idea behind the thing. And so one of the staff had brought her daughter down, and so we sat the girl down on the pavement or the sidewalk in America. And she was cuddling the bear, and it had been raining just before, and all of a sudden she got bored with this bear, and she threw the bear in the air, and it was heading straight towards a puddle. And you've never seen anybody dive so fast in their life to actually capture this bear before it fell in the puddle. Yeah, and could have knocked about $1 million off the value of this bear. True story.
Oh my goodness. $1 million knocked off. Amazing.
You know, what's interesting, I think, about teddy bears and other toys like that is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you just take old Teddy and throw him in the washing machine, do you? So they gather all kinds of dust and germs.
I throw my kids when they were little, theirs went into the wash, and then it got fluffed up in the dryer, and the kids had fun with their little brush brushing them back to life.
Well, look at poor Teddy going around and around in the dryer. He's like, "Hey, let me out, let me out."
Oh,
That's
so
funny.
funny.
Now, do they have wash and go bears? I'm being serious.
I think you can wash some. Most bears you can wash, unless they're really old, antique ones. Then you have to be
Yeah.
very careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can just bung them in the washing machine.
Ian, do you wash yours?
That sounds very.
I don't have them anymore, but this was when I was married, and so I
took them.
I think they disappeared, my teddy bear collection. You don't want me in tears now, do you? You don't want me in tears.
Custody battle.
My teddy bear collection. I never knew what happened to it, but I had over 20 teddy bears.
Wow.
And they were all in different parts of the house. And it was, you know, I always think, because there's some beautiful bears that are produced each year. And I always think that it just makes a house look more homely. I don't know. You know, for me, it's, you know, you can, perhaps when you're feeling bored, you can start talking to the teddy bears, you know.
Share some tea.
Share some tea.
I love it.
There's actually a lovely story. This leads on to a lovely story, I think, which has just come out. So there is a young boy called Teddy. He's 4 years old and he lives in Portishead in Somerset in the UK. And at the age of 2, he joined Mensa. Now, Mensa is an amazing organisation for people who are super bright. And there's a way of working out your intelligence. I think it has to be over 150. I can't explain it fully, but it's for very bright people in the UK. So Teddy is part of Mensa at the age of 2. And, you know, he taught himself to read at the age of 2. He can count to 100 in 6 non-native languages, and his mother actually heard him sounding, you know, very talking in a bit strange sort of tone to his voice, and he actually said, "Mummy, I can speak Mandarin," and he was actually speaking Mandarin, which I think is absolutely amazing. And he's on top of being so bright, and so how do they do it at such an early age? He's very level-headed because he realizes that he's bright in this way, but he's not very good at sport. And he actually was reasoning with his mum, saying, well, you know, I'm good at this, but, you know, I can't kick the ball as fast as anyone else, and I can't run as fast as my friends. And I just think, how amazing. How can this be that people have, you know, this amount, born with this? I don't know, is it innate? Is it inert? What do you think, guys? I think it's just such a heartwarming story. He's now 4, obviously destined for great things.
Let's ask the educator, Diane.
I think you watched The Big Bang Theory. Do y'all know that show? It's a great show.
It's a great show.
I think it is, isn't it? Makes me laugh. But personally, I think some people are old souls and they're just born with this ability. And if their parents bring them up with a lot of grace, they're going to end up doing great work in the world. I mean, look at Einstein.
Yeah, we were discussing this on another show yesterday, Helen and I, and I've always wanted to be regressed, you know, because you know, for whatever reason, you know, you hear about people who regress and they've lived former lives. So someone like this young man, I mean, goodness me, if he's learnt all this, it's almost like he's come back in another body now, you know, from someone who was a genius in the past. But a very quick story, if we've got time for a quick story, on young geniuses. So many years ago, I was sent down to the West Country, again, strange enough, very close to where this boy lives, Teddy lives. And it was a center for brilliant children, child geniuses. And child geniuses that they discovered felt very isolated because they really couldn't connect with other children because they were so much more cleverer than them. And so an organization got together to actually every month, they would get all these child geniuses together from around the country, and they would come and meet each other for a weekend, so that they could actually find a common purpose amongst each other. And they were all child geniuses. And I'd gone down there, and in those days I had an electronic flash, you know, because I was a photographer at that time, and the flash wasn't working. And this young boy who was about 6 or 7 years old, he took the flash gun off and he said, I'll fix it, so don't worry. So within seconds, this flash gun was in about 1,000 parts, you know, and it was all strewn all over a table. and he put this thing back together again in record time, and it worked. And so there are child geniuses out there that, but that's the thing is that at times they do feel isolated as well, because they find it harder, because they're at a much different level of intelligence. So they find it much harder sometimes to actually play or sort of talk to other children who haven't got this intelligence level.
That is so true.
It sounds like in some cases they bypass that whole growing up period as children and move right into young adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even realize what the time was. It has just flown by today. It's amazing. Yeah, it really has.
Fun day.
Yeah, another fun show. So as we always do, let's go around and just share something with our audience, words to live by. DIANN, FLOYD, BOEHM.
Well, I think about everything we talked about today. It's been so much fun kind of reliving childhood in some ways, but I am very excited about what Helena brought up, and congratulations to her friend and star. I hope he wins the Oscars, and it's a good reminder to all of us to just live. Don't have on your rear view window and look backwards. Just go for your dreams, because you never know when they can happen.
That's right. And when the bus comes to pick you up, get on it.
Get on it. That's right.
Helena, how about you? What would you like to share with our viewers?
I would say here, DIANN. Absolutely. My sentiments exactly. Live life to the full, enjoy life and have rebellious hope. And in fact, that's something that Dame Deborah James, the late Deborah James, always used to say, and it is so true. She's known as Bow Babe, and also exactly that, in memory of Bill Nighy's character in Living, which is he was amazing. So I'm so excited that he's been nominated for an Oscar. But yes, live life to the full, enjoy life, find joy in everything every day.
Thank you so much. I agree with that. Find joy. And Mr. Joyful, Ian, what will you share with our audience?
He's nodding.
He's speechless.
He's going to start singing joy, joy, joy.
Yeah.
Ian, are you with us?
He's off to have a whiskey and some haggis, I think.
Haggis.
I felt like saying "Ready, Teddy, go."
Oh. I love it. And do a flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good for all of us to tap into that childlike essence that we have in there, that believe me, I'm speaking from personal experience, that we're always go, go, go. And sometimes it's fun just to play and enjoy.
Amen.
Yes.
I've got the joy, 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 joy.
Well, our joyous crew is signing off for now. Our next show on Spiritual Butt is coming up. So contact information, details are all there in the comment section. So please do reach out to our panel. And Simon MacDonald, we look forward to having you back next week. So I'll see you all then. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.